Foundation might have ended a few weeks ago, but a deleted scene has been released by showrunner David Goyer, or at least the script for it. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the deleted scene and how it could possibly affect the next season of Foundation. As always, I'm Al, this is the Geek in Review. And before we get into it, just to say thanks for taking the time to choose to watch this video. If you haven't done it already, please hit the subscribe button and leave a like on the video as well. So as I said, the scene was released online by David Goyer on his own website, and it is a full script, or at least what would have been shot if this scene had been filmed. He says that the reason that it wasn't done is because of budgetary issues at the time, and while the scene wouldn't have heavily impacted the arc of the Foundation or the story overall, it would have definitely changed a few things for certain characters. So let's get to it. So the scene takes place after the events of the finale of Season 2. It lands on a planet that they refer to as New Terminus, so I guess this is going to be their base of operations going forward. Given the fact that everyone now thinks that they're dead, it gives them time to rebuild, and the fact that the Empire doesn't know about this planet also means that they're not going to be detected. Now the scene mostly focuses on Polly and Selden. There is a little bit beforehand with Constance, but I'm not going to talk about that. And this is more about characters changing their view on Harry and the Foundation and the plan overall. And it takes place in the vault after New Terminus has been settled. Polly goes to see Harry and he's no longer wearing the robes from Season 2. Harry says that he barely recognises him and asks if he's removed them because he's having a crisis of faith. Polly reassures him this isn't the case, and Harry tells Polly that he needs him now as he's the leader of New Terminus. But Polly is curious about the grand plan and why Selden was so willing to put his and Constance's life on the line for it. Polly reminds him that there's no way to know that Hobor was going to show up and rescue them, and Harry expected them to die on Trantor. Harry confirms this, and you can tell that it angers Polly, the fact that he's been offered up to the Empire so easily, and that Harry didn't tell him this might happen. He's also angry that Harry killed the former warden on Terminus before he re-emerged and wants to know why all this happened. Harry tells him, for a god to be effective, he needs to be many things. Polly cuts him off to remind Harry that he's not a god and that he killed him just to make sure that the followers didn't become complacent, and that Harry can do things like this without it seemingly bothering him, and Polly suspects he likes having this power and being seen as a deity. Polly cuts Harry pretty deep when he says he believes in the church and the plan and the Foundation, just not Selden. Harry hears him out and then asks him to leave, and as Polly exits the vault, he realises that he's crossing the threshold at the same spot where the warden died, and Harry seemingly goes back to work unfazed. The camera then stays with Harry and his expression changes, letting us know that Polly's words did have an effect on him. And that's sort of about it. It is available fully online on David S. Goyer's website if you want to have a read on it, but there isn't much more, and I've covered the key points here. Now, as I said, this wasn't filmed due to budget at the time, and I'm wondering if we're going to see it, or at least a version of it, in Season 3. While this wouldn't change the arc or the season, or even really an episode, it does show that there are cracks within the Foundation, and if Polly, who's a lifelong follower of Selden, can lose faith in him, it can happen to others. Polly's point of view on Harry and his methods have changed after waiting over 100 years for him to re-emerge. And I think that's the key fact here, and the takeaway is that your point of view can change and that you can still agree with a plan of action without agreeing with the person that came up to it. So very significant for Polly in his arc, and it shows not only is Polly having doubts about Harry's method, but so is Harry himself. And when you think about it, worship seems to be part of Harry's plan, as no matter where he is, this sort of ends up happening. The flesh and blood Harry that's with Gale, who went to sleep for over 100 years, might be seen as godlike by the Metallics who are now watching over them while they sleep. And I think this is something that's probably going to be explored further in Season 3, is how Harry sees himself as a god and how he uses and manipulates that power. But what do you guys think? Are we going to see this scene or a version of it in Season 3? And if it had been filmed, would it have been a more satisfying ending to Season 2? I really want to know what you think about this, so let me know in the comments below. Or were you happy with how Season 2 ended on its own? I really want to hear what you guys think about this, so let me know. But as always, these are just my thoughts. We haven't got any news yet if there is going to be a season 3, but we know that it has at least partially been written. So if there are any updates, I'll post some videos on that, and I'm going to be posting some more Foundation Theory videos as well. So make sure you subscribe that you don't miss it, and you've got the notifications turned on as well. And as always, my name's Al. Thanks for watching.